Hello everyone and welcome to SmallCap Spotlight. For a very long time on this channel, we have got you exclusive interviews with SME companies to talk about their businesses, the strategy, and how they view their respective industries. But here's a very interesting phenomena in the SME listing ecosystem that someone has pointed out. The number of IPOs in that hemisphere and that ecosystem is declining. What's leading to that? Is it waning investor interest, higher regulatory issues, or is it that SMEs no longer feel the need to tap the public markets? For that, I have with me a voice that is respected in the SME space and in fact has been the pioneer of the SME exchanges in India as we know it. And that is Mr. Ajay Thakur. He is managing partner and the CEO of TGISME Capital Advisors, LLP. Mr. Thakur, thank you so much for joining us today on SmallCap Spotlight. To begin with, sir, I'd like to talk to you about something that you have recently noticed, observed, and spelled out on your platform as well. What do you think have you been observing? There was this massive rush of sorts for SME IPOs, but now, as per your data and your research, you think that that has been declining. If you could first talk to us about this phenomenon and what's leading to it.
Yeah, thank you, Mubina, for inviting me on the platform. It's really a pleasure talking to you. In fact, we are post-COVID. If you see the scenario, we are seeing almost, 70 million investors adding to the capital market. And post-COVID, there was, secular bull run in the market, and therefore investors' participations kept on increasing. But in October 2024 onwards, we have seen massive selling by FIs, though there was participation till the month of January. But post that, we have seen huge crash in small cap, mid cap stocks. Even market has fallen almost 10-12%. And investors start shying away from the market. First time we have seen the investors, losing faith in the market, because earlier they have not seen the bear market. So when they start seeing the crash happening in many of the stocks that they were owning, they started selling the shares. And till March, the selling was too much, and suddenly the buyers started moving away from the market. And this has happened especially in the small cap, mid cap stocks, and also on the SME platform. In the SME space, as we start seeing QIB, HNI started moving out of the market, the participation starts coming down. Okay, in 2024, also we have seen few episodes happening where 2-3 companies were barred from the capital market. Regulators have taken action. But what has happened, the media has, everybody started covering it very negatively. There was a lot of negativity about the SME platform, as if a lot of things are happening wrong. And of course, regulators enter into it. They have, taken the advice of various stakeholders in the capital market, which were working intensively on the SME platform, and then come out with some changes in the guidelines. But it was more for the good of the market, so that there should be a healthy growth. There were some curves in that. Some surveillance measures were taken, like introduction of ESM1, ESM2. And once a company enter into ESM2, then they have to go in a periodic call option. So all these things, have come simultaneously. Okay, where market has crashed, we have seen periodic call options happening, and at the same time, regulatory curves happen on the SME platform. When all these things happen simultaneously, investors started shying away from the SME platform, and therefore, even nowadays, we are seeing that the investors' participation have reduced. Merchant bankers, even after getting the approval, meet to the investors only when they are sure that the issues are going to be fully subscribed and substantial QIB participation is going to come, then only they open the issue. So of course 25, 26, we are not seeing that number of SMEs coming, which we have seen in the preceding years.
Mr. Thakur, you mentioned market crash. Now, see, this is something that, yes, retail investors will definitely get spooked, especially a lot of the newer investors who for them, this is the first instance of market crash. But for QIBs and HNIs who are more sophisticated, who are also intelligent enough to know that you have to play the long-term game when you invest, wouldn't it be a bit short-sighted of them as well to think that, okay, the market has crashed, so let me start pulling out? Because when you are looking at SMEs, it's like you're investing in a business and you have to be in it for the long term.
See, what has happened on the SME platform, let me tell you, in last 3-4 years, many of the AIFs got created. That means alternative investment funds. Okay, that also comes under the QIB category. Now, mutual fund and FI never invest on the SME platform. Even if they invest a small amount of money. So this SME platform where we have seen the QIB participations, they were the anchor investors, which have been formed in 5-6 anchor investors, which were in the form of alternative investment funds, AIF, which got registered in last 5 years. They were participating for the first time. So first 2 years, because the market was good, number of AIs kept on increasing, they kept on investing, and they invested in larger chunk of money. But when the market crashed, and let me tell you, SME platform from day one was not made for retail investors as such. Initially also, if you see, the minimum ticket size of investment was more than 1 lakh, which has been now increased to 2 lakh. Whereas if you see the main board, the minimum ticket size is approximately 14,000. And the issue size is also big. Here the issue size is not big. At the same time, minimum investment ticket size is also big. So when we see such a crash in the market, especially small cap companies and the companies on the SME platform, they see the liquidity drying up. And when the liquidity start drying up, people don't get exit very fast. And this restricts the participation of the QIB and HNIs because they have larger ticket size. So therefore, because of the lack of liquidity resulting because of the bear market, we have seen lesser participations by this QIB. Once the liquidity will go up, once we will start seeing bull run coming onto the SMA platform, again the participation will come. So this has happened in 2017 also. We have seen that, during those days also there was a bull run, especially in the small and mid cap stocks, which further moved to SME counter. And after that 3 years, there was a lull period. So this time also, of course, 2-3 years of bull run on the SME platform. Now there is a lack of interest by the investors, large investors, as well as HNI and retail investors. But once the things have started improving, once the investors start gaining confidence, merchant bankers start getting confidence, and other intermediaries started confidence, we will see the investors coming back on these counters. But for the time being, what I am hearing from the market is that, yes, there is a slowdown. There is very lackluster interest by the investors, and therefore merchant bankers are hesitant in opening the issues on the SME platform.
Yeah, very interesting. I think that point, especially, I think you mentioned that the objective also of this exchange was to promote the institutional investors to, sort of come in and infuse these SMEs with capital, which is something that they any which ways needed. Do you think that even amidst this slowdown of sorts, there are certain sectors, certain pockets where there is still interest and you're still seeing, money coming in? Because yes, IPOs have slowed down, but they haven't stopped completely. So could you tell us a bit about...
Yes, of course, they have not stopped completely. A few companies whereby yesterday or day before yesterday issue got closed, where the company was subscribed almost 375 times. Then there was another 1 or 2 issues whereby we have seen huge subscription coming. Even post listing, the share price has appreciated by almost, I think, 30 to 35%. So I think that, if the merchant bankers are showing the companies of the sunrise sectors and meet the QIB and institutional investors or the larger investors who have got family offices, then these companies get huge subscription, and when such names come as an anchor investor or QIB, then other investors also follow the trend, and therefore we see such huge subscription coming on this company. But again, if we see 23, 24, the number of companies coming, in almost all companies, we were seeing huge subscription. Now these are exceptional situations, exceptions companies. whereby we are seeing such type of subscription, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 maximum.
Okay, got it. You mentioned that merchant bankers are now being very selective, very careful about the companies that they are taking. And I think you listed some of those factors as well that they are looking at. Could you just reiterate again for our viewers that what are those factors they are looking at? Sunrise sector, who are the anchor investors? What are these things that they're looking at and more closely looking at before considering that, okay, whether they should take up a company?
Of course, there are 2, 3 factors. For example, when those large investors who have got big name in the market, okay, along with them, they bring credibility to the company. When such investors enter into these companies, one thing the other investors are assured that because this company is good, because all the investors don't are not so financially literate or expert, or they understand the balance sheet and PL account of the company, or their future growth, about their future growth. So when they see such big investors coming and coming as an anchor investors, and even through QIBs, when they are coming, other investors try to follow the trend, even in the QIB sector. Okay. So these things are important, but at the same time, the valuation of the company. Okay, if the valuation is attractive, if the promoters are keeping something for the investors, okay, they are not taking everything in their pocket. I think those things also become reasons for the investors to participate in the IPO. So I think these things are very important. But of course, as I have already told you, that the merchant bankers are trying to pick selective companies whereby they are themselves sure that the valuation is attractive, the company is going to grow by 20 to 25%, the corporate governance is good, the valuation that is coming is good, and the investors are going to make money if they are invested for 2, 3 years or 4 years. So such companies are being liked by this type of investors, and then followed by other set of investors.
I think you answered my next question as well about valuations, that I'm still going to ask you though, that do you think that now if a company wants to, go for an IPO, the merchant bank will have to be even more aggressive when it comes to valuations to get that, garner that kind of market interest that they used to earlier? Perhaps earlier SMEs had the upper hand because you used to get subscriptions by the throngs, but do you think things have changed now?
See, let me tell you, in the capital market, everywhere there is a change. Whenever there is a bull market, whether it's a SME or the main board company, all of them get great valuation. Okay, whatever the promoters want, they get that type of valuation. We have seen in the main board happening, we have seen in the SME board happening. But when the markets are not good, promoters have to be, very much satisfied with whatever the valuation they are getting. They should not try to demand more. In fact, many of the times when I was meeting to the promoters, what I observed was that, promoters are demanding very high valuation, as if this is the time only, and they always take the capital market as to be a static market. They must understand the capital market is a dynamic market, and it is going to reward you in the longer term, whereby the valuation will be determined by the forces of the capital market, and you start attracting premiums as you go on the journey of the stock exchange listing. So I think these things need to be understood by the promoters, and if they come here and bring the IPO at a right valuation, at attractive valuations, of course the investors will look to those companies. They will like to invest in those companies. But let me tell you, today pitching to the investors is becoming difficult by the merchant bankers. It was like Silicon Valley crash when we have seen in the PVC space. Even the PE and VC investors were very selective in choosing the startups for investing. So today the scenario is same. The investors are very selective. Out of 100 companies, maybe 1 or 2 companies they will like to invest in those companies. If the valuation is good, if the company is good, if the sector is good, if the promoters are good, if the governance is there, if transparency is there in the company, the brand is well known, then investors will participate, larger investors will participate. But nowadays, even the merchant bankers are looking for some good driver who should come and drive the company as an investor. So then only, promoters are, merchant bankers are you. And merchant bankers here on the SME platform, you understand that the here laws are very difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, guidelines are very difficult. The issue needs to be 100% undertaken. There is no compliances as far as IPO and documentation and papers are concerned. There is no relaxation. The due diligence, the compliances are one and the same as that of the main board companies. Only the post-listing compliances are being relaxed. So therefore, the merchant bankers have to understand that their due diligence is the most important aspect in all the company. They should do proper due diligence and then they start pitching the company. So on the SME platform, because nowadays the media glare is there. If you do something wrong here and there, if there is no proper due diligence, then immediately you may come in the notice of so many people. And then people will start talking to you on various YouTube channels and so on and so forth. So that will put further pressure on the stock exchange and the SEBI, and then they may think of curbing other guidelines also. So I think these things the merchant bankers have to keep in mind, the promoters have to keep in mind, and then they should start pitching their company.
Very good points. Okay. Since we are speaking about regulatory framework and we went in that direction, do you think that this, now for example, recently these norms were announced. One of them was this 2 lakh rupee minimum investment or ticket size. Do you think that that has also been a reason why, to some extent, along with the market crash, that liquidity has been sucked off from the SME market? Because retail participation has been superb. There's been no doubt about that. But do you think that right now the framework is such that it is kind of curbing this enthusiasm as well, in this, in the entire SME, SME ecosystem?
The SME platform was always for the larger investors. If you see, already the ticket size was somewhere around 1,20,000 to 1,40,000. So taking it to 2 lakh, what regulators want that retail investors should be away from the SME platform. Because as per SEBI guideline, minimum, retail investment ticket size is 2 lakh rupees. So if they are moving from above 2 lakh rupees, it means that retail investors are not allowed in the SME platform. So what SEBI want, that the initial holding should be by the larger investors, larger sector of investors, because they are risky investments. And that's why SEBI might have done all these things. Of course, that it is going to hit the liquidity, because if the retail investors are not there, liquidity will dry up. And then, even the larger set of investors, because, capital market is nothing but liquidity.
Yeah.
Lesser the liquidity, you will find lesser number of investors. And when you go to the market, everybody will say, when I was running the SME platform, every now and then large investors were telling me, sir, we don't want to work on this in this space because there is no liquidity at all. Where will you generate liquidity? And if the investors will ask for exit, where will I give the exit to them? So these are the issues. Okay, these issues may arise. So that's why market making mechanism was there. But it has also its limited purpose, because when there will be huge selling or huge buying, then market making will also become difficult. So of course liquidity is a big concern when it comes to SME platform by many of the players. But investors must need to understand that SME investment is not a short-term investment. It's a long-term investment. Okay. And that's why, 3 years, time period has been created for migrating from SME platform to the main board. So do 3 years hand-holding on these companies, remain invested for 3 years. Once they migrate to the main board, they transform into a bigger company, and then you can think of exit. So that was the whole purpose. But, nowadays, investors always want that whenever they want, they should take an exit. And 3 years is too long. And, today with the disruptions in the market, anything can happen. There may be regulatory disruptions. There can be some innovations because of which there will be disruption, which can, tinker with the liquidity. So investors want the liquidity at all point of time, whether 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, like that. And SME platform, again, let me tell you, PVCs, which are more in that frame of mind that they remain invested for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Capital market is not that ball, that game. Here, investors would like to churn their portfolio very quickly. So this is the difference. But today, SME platform from day one, it has been conceived to that larger set of investors remain invested with the company for longer period.
Let's talk about this entire phenomena also of more and more companies listing at a discount compared to the issue price. Again, would you attribute it to this entire phenomena of losing interest, reducing liquidity, etc.? And again, do you think it's a temporary phenomena that we are seeing?
So, if you see in the last 1.5 years, we have all sorts of investors. Whenever investors saw, getting, some premium on their investment on the day of listing, they used to sell. And but at that point of time, we have equal amount of buyers who were participating on the SME platform. So they outperformed the seller because number of buyers were more, sellers were less, and therefore it didn't impact the price of the company on the day of listing. But after this, especially in the year 2025, post March, what we have observed that again the selling is the same, okay, on the day of listing, but buyers are not participating, and there is a mismatch. So number of sellers are more, but the buyers are very less, and therefore we are seeing there is a discounting on the day of listing from the price which has been given at the time of IPO.
Do you think then that somewhere down the line, maybe the SMEs themselves and of course with the merchant bankers could work on providing better price stability? Do you think somewhere down the line they would be able to help in that?
Well, see, that is not the job of the promoters. The promoters start participating. It amounts to in some insider trading or manipulation or speculation, something like that. And of course, promoters are not aware about the market. So somebody will try to take even the undue advantage. So there will be compliance issue, and it's better that the promoters must not participate in all those activities. Merchant bankers, their job is to do the market making. They try to stabilize the price as much as they can. But unless and until they have got the support of buyers, they themselves can't do anything. So that is the issue. We have seen. Look, the most important thing in this SME ecosystem is the participation of institutional investors, QIB. QIBs are one who, give confidence to other investors, as well as, they stabilize the price also, share price also. So that has been seen in last 1 or 2 years. So unless until their participation there, some big family business is participating on the SME platform, and some big name started coming, and maybe later on, even if we start seeing mutual fund participation, till that time, I don't think that anything can stabilize the share price. So promoters should shy away from the market. Their job is to only present their companies in front of the investors, and the rest job is to be done by the merchant bankers who can pitch to the company, and then let us leave it in the hands of the investors. So that will be the fair thing to do.
What do you think will trigger perhaps a reversal back to that boom era that we saw in SME IPOs? Because this year, like you mentioned, there might be a bit of a slowdown, but do you think there are any external factors or triggers which could turn things around again?
Yeah, I think so. Once many of the companies where the share prices has come down, if in those companies we again start seeing that investors participation coming, if the results will start improving of these companies, which we have seen this year, and many of the SMEs have given extraordinary performance, and we have seen investors participation was again coming. So if all those things start happening and the investors' confidence will start growing, we see, some companies getting listed at premium. I think investors will once again come back, and they will take the market to the same place from where it has fallen. So I think good days will also come. Capital market is like a cycle. Some bad days, some good days. Bad days remain for long, good days remain short. This time, perhaps first time in the history, we have seen 4 years of secular bull run in the market. But in the times to come, and as the Indian economy is growing, and as everybody is talking about, that is the fastest growing economy. I think the backbone of Indian economy, that is SMEs, are going to perform better. Investors should, and the merchant bankers and other intermediaries should must do the hand holding of these small medium companies is very important. The most important thing is not only to bring the laws, but also to create a smooth functioning and a smart functioning of the this ecosystem. Okay, and thereby I think all the stakeholders, all the participants need to play very vital role to ensure that this SME platform should grow further and further. These are the backbones. So if we, unless until we give them equity funding, they will not grow. And then employment will also not get created. We will not see equitable growth, especially in the tier 2, tier 3 cities. So it's very important for all the stakeholders to ensure that this SME platform keep on growing.
I mean, very good points. SMEs today contribute around like 40 to 50% of India's GDP. And like you mentioned, they go straight into tier 2, tier 3 areas where employment, etc., is something that is the need of the hour. So this is the way that one can, maybe even contribute to that segment of society. Any role models of sort that you have seen that have done well in listing, in post listing as well? Could you share some examples of a successful SME IPO?
The many of them, even if you talk about recent times, I have seen Unifed got listed. It has already grown. I think last week only it got listed. Day before yesterday, one company got, I am forgetting the name, but GYRO was the merchant banker, if I am not wrong. There the issue got subscribed 375 times. I have seen the QIB portion itself got subscribed 175 times. So it's not like that, QIB will not participate, or, investors will not participate. But as far as HNI and retail investors are concerned, they always follow the big name. So that big name gives a lot of credibility to these companies, and then they start jumping into the bandwagon. So I think this is very important. The big names, my request will be that, of course, they are very much focused on the large cap and mid cap. But if they will start, big names who are very well-known celebrity investors, sometimes they are critic of the SME platform also. But instead of criticism, because the criticism can bring the market down. But if you want to create a sustainable or growth-oriented market, then there needs to be thorough analysis. It should be looked into very positively by the critics, and ensure that there should be healthy growth on the SME platform, not by the words, but also by the deeds and by investment. So I think if these things will come into place, I think this SME platform can take off. We know all these celebrities who are well known in the market. My request to them that they should start investing, participating, and hand-holding onto the SME platform. And SME platform will then reach to their heights.
Okay, so if today an SME, let's say, is looking for listing themselves on the SME exchanges, what advice would you like to give them? Of course, apart from trying to woo a celebrity investor, like you mentioned, but apart from that, what would you tell them? What would you advise? How should they?
Of course, one thing I will always say, you do thousands of good things, you will hardly get credit. But if some wrong thing happens, everybody will bounce on you. Everyone. Okay. And many people are looking for that opportunity also to bounce upon you. So my suggestion to all the intermediaries, to all the participants, to all the promoters, be ethical. Money will come sooner or later. Be ethical. Have transparency in your business. Have corporate governance. Best ethical practices. Always try to have sustainable growth in your company. Keep your mind alert, eyes and ear open, and then this platform will take you to the new heights. Intermediaries also have to ensure that they should do proper due diligence. Any activity should not bring bad name to the SME platform. The stock exchanges, people like us, the CEO and MD of the stock exchange, they have worked day and night. SEBI has worked very hard to ensure the success of the SME platform. And today the SME platform is only because of the hard work of these people. So I think that the other participants, other people also should ensure that there should be a healthy and sustainable growth of the SME platform.
Okay, Mr. Thakur, pearls of wisdom indeed. Thank you so much for joining us today, and very good words of advice, really. Ethics is something that's extremely important in today's day and age. And, if you've got that straight in your book, which perpetrates through your entire team, then you've taken the first right step. Thank you so much, Mr. Thakur, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you, viewers, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Stay tuned to Small Cap Spotlight. We'll be back with more.